What is going on YouTube? It is your boy Jessica here. I am back again with another story. And I feel I should explain myself more thoroughly from the events in my life that have made me the person I am today. Um so the first one I'm going to start with is my experience of being at a pool, which is kind of one of the reasons why I stay away from pools as much as I do now because of that traumatic experience. So, let's go ahead and take a little trip down memory lane. In in a situation, I was 11 years old. I was I didn't weigh that much. I was probably about like 5'2", maybe 5'2", maybe, and I had been taken to a wave pool, and I was away from my mother, and it was just my older sister when we were somewhat okay, her husband, their two children, so both my nieces, my brother, and my second oldest sister. And we went to a park, I believe. I'm not sure what park it was, but I think it might have been like Dorney Park, or it would have been like a water park. It's something like that. And what happened was, at this point in time, I was extremely panicked by being in deep bodies of water, and I constantly stressed myself out basically. And at that time, I didn't know how to swim. Well, I still don't like the best, but at the same time, I'm willing to learn how to swim. And it's not more so too much of learning. It's just like learning to be calm really in a situation because at one point, once the water went over my head, I just immediately started panicking. And that's one of the worst things that you can do if you're in a swimming pool. And, you gotta basically teach yourself how to get out of a situation that could have been life threatening. That's what happened to me that day. And what happened was I myself got pulled further into the pool, but it wasn't really that far, but it was far enough for me not to be able to see like my family basically. And it was blocked the view to see them if they were there by other folks, like more heavy set folks, people and their children type situation. And it was crazy because I was trying to grab onto things and I kept like easing my leg into it, like my right leg, and then it was one time when I eased it too far, and because I eased it too far, it literally pulled me back in the wave pool, like because my foot was already out and I didn't weigh that much, so it pulled me further into the wave pool, and I think the deepest that the water went was like 8 feet, and I'm a mere 5 foot two ish, and I got swept away basically because I already didn't weigh a lot. So as I'm being pulled in the water, I was like, all right, it's kind of odd. I'm not going that far. I was in 6 feet, and I was like, all right, well, it's 6 feet. That's something. I could just swim back. It's not really that situation. It's that bad. It's gonna take a second for me to get all the way down there and touch it, but it's not that bad. And then we hit 7 feet, and I was like, oh boy, 7 feet. That's still not that bad, but it could be worse. And then it got to the dreaded 8 feet, where it was as soon as I like tried to swim, I felt myself getting tired because I was younger, and because I got tired, I literally just stopped moving and I literally just dropped into the water. And because I wasn't so calm and composed as I am now, I started panicking, which made me inhale more water, which also, not in a good way, made it harder for me to breathe because I was, underwater. And, folks don't usually breathe underwater. So I started freaking out while we were at the wave pool. And as I'm all the way out far away here, we had a lifeguard on duty, but they weren't helping me at all. And it wasn't really their fault mixed in with my own family, like my elder sister's negligence that really worried me. Her and her husband both let me out of their sight, and I was 11 years old at the time. So it was, I want to say that the blame was shared, but more so on their part because I was a child. I was having one of those days where it's like I'm doing okay. I know how to swim and everything, but I was not accustomed to being pulled by a wave pool, and from that situation of me almost drowning, I had to literally rely on myself to pull myself out of the situation. So each time that I went further underwater, I did a little kick basically, and I swam underwater, and I was running out of air. And because I was running out of air, I started panicking more. And so I swam faster to the best of my abilities underwater. You already know how underwater is, though. And I was slow, obviously. And as I'm swimming, I'm noticing that my muscles and my arms and my legs are really, really, really getting tired. And so I'm barely out of 7 feet. So at that moment in time, I was about to consider just, going with it and just giving up on a situation and just drowning basically because I was calling for help and no one was coming to help me. And so what happened was as I was about to give up, something kind of kicked me in the butt. I was like, no, you got to get out of this situation. And so I was like, how am I going to do that? I can't really swim the best. And I had like a little smaller conversation with myself, and to the point whereas I don't know what it was, but it was some kind of force and it pushed me into, push me internally to try harder. And so I kept trying and trying and trying and trying. At first, I thought it wasn't working, but I just kept going, hey, if it's not working right now, I might as well go out trying. And as I keep doing it, I was getting closer and closer and closer to 5 feet, to the point where as I was swimming so fast and so hard, my heart was beating and I swam extremely fast. And as I was about to give up, I felt someone's shoulder. And so what happened is I literally pulled myself to that area because, they were right next to me at that point in time. So I grabbed onto their shoulder, tears in my eyes, and I was looking around. My entire vision was blurred and I was basically in a state of shock. I could barely breathe. And they were asking me if I was all right. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And no one else knew that that happened except me, that happened that day. No one else knew. And that's how bad it is because only I knew that situation where it was a life or death situation. And it it really taught me a lesson, whereas sometimes you have to really, really, really rely on yourself in a situation, whereas people should be able to help you, they're not always going to be there to help you. And sometimes you have to help yourself. And that's what I did that day. And do I regret it? No, because I was able to learn how to, you know, worry about myself, how to handle things on my own, take responsibility for what I did. And I'm happy because that taught me a valuable lesson. The only thing I really regret about the whole thing was now I'm somewhat traumatized at a swimming pool and I don't go swimming as much in the pool. I can shower, bathe, things like that I can do. But going in the pool, that's one of the things that's almost out of the question. But that's just me talking about a little bit of what happened, it's giving you a little, like a little bump of what was going on in my life at that point in time, and what's kind of shaped me into being as determined and self-reliant as I am now. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Well, this was basically just me going down an old memory that was somewhat traumatizing. Anyway, that is your boy Jessica Crow signing out. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. And with that being said, peace.